I think they might possibly think about doing something a little different than what they're doing. So I don't know, but let's go. One of the things we want to start talking about is doing a little bit more high school. So one of the things I wanted to talk a little bit about was Senate League softball, and we got some games that are taking place that are pretty crucial to the Senate League. You got Glenville playing against James F. O. John Marshall against Bard. You have John F. Kennedy versus John Hay. You have Lincoln West versus Garrett Morgan, and you have Max Hayes versus Campus International. Now, also on your baseball calendar today, you got some matches that are taking place, and you got Glenville versus James Road. It's in baseball. John Marshall versus Bard. John F. Kennedy versus John Hay. Lincoln West versus Garrett Morgan, and Max Hayes versus John Adams. And it looks like games take place on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They start at 5 o'clock. So make sure you get out and support these teams on their quest to city titles and state titles as well. City, state, regional, those types of titles. Willie,
Yo,
how you doing? Sorry about that, sir. My bad. Had a little technical difficulties. How are you, Willie?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to be back in the huddle. How things going? I missed you. You can't hear me? Why can't you hear me, Rachel? Well, I'll go ahead and do the talking if you can't hear me.
I can
Uh
hear you now. I'm sorry.
okay.
I
Yeah,
got it together. I got myself together.
are you sure?
I don't think so, but
I'm gonna I'm gonna crack on you, right? I have
what I do?
well, you said you got to get yourself together.
Okay, well, I think I'm together now. I think I'm together.
Well,
I'm all set.
good. I'm glad to be back in the huddle. It feels like it's been forever. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, here we are. A lot of interesting things going on out there inside and outside the sports world. So yeah, good to be back.
Yeah, so one of the things I just talked about before I transitioned to reading off some of the Senate League games that's taking place in Cleveland Public Schools today, some of the games I was talking about the ending of March Madness and the national championship game. And before we moved on to another subject, I definitely wanted to get your thoughts on last night's game. How thrilling and entertaining was that game for you?
Well, it wasn't really that thrilling because I did not want Kansas to win. I've had an axe to grind with Kansas for the longest. I mean, going all the way back to um even before Paul Pierce, which was what, 96, 97, 98 in that era, all the way back to Danny Manning. I have never really been a fan of the Jayhawks, and what I saw with Carolina in the Final Four, especially against Duke, I thought that Caleb Love and Mr. RJ Davis were a formidable backcourt that could actually cause some issues for Kansas. However, I did underestimate the defensive prowess of those guards for the Jayhawks because they just locked up those dudes like nobody has done in this tournament. And that 16-point lead that dissipated, as we know now, that is the largest deficit ever in the national championship game. And Kansas, man, they got the stops when they needed to get the stops. And at first, I really thought that it was going to be a blowout because I was like, Kansas is going to be too good for these dudes. They're going to be too good. Their defense, their on the ball pressure was outstanding. I think McNamara, is that his name? McNamara in the middle. I think that he was a distinct advantage over the other kid from North Carolina, but they didn't shoot the ball that well in the first half. And they gave up a lot of second chance points to Carolina. So that really was what kept them in it. But at the end of the day, it was a very intriguing game. I wouldn't say I'm happy about the outcome, but give it up to Kansas. They did what they needed to do, and they're now the national champions.
Yeah, so you like some of the blue bloods?
Um, really and truly, my team is Michigan. My team is Michigan. So I don't know if you can consider Michigan a blue blood in basketball.
No,
Although, huh?
no.
How many national championships have the Wolverines won?
I don't know how many have they won.
Two that I know of. But
That ain't
the last one was in 1989.
that ain't blue blood. That ain't blue blood
That's
status.
not.
One of them blue,
I don't think
blue
that would
blood.
be considered a blue blood, even with the Fab
I
Five. Even with the Fab Five, because there was some drop off after the after the Fab Five left. Um, but no, I can't consider Michigan a blue blood. But to answer your question, I'm not a Duke fan, never have been. I'm not a Kansas fan, never have been. I never really was a North Carolina fan, but in this particular Final Four, I would have liked for Villanova to do it. I like Villanova,
That's who I was rooting for because
and
all you needed was to insert Kentucky, and then you would have. I mean, I think of those four schools as the blue bloods. You know, you insert Kentucky, and I'm like, oh my god, I wouldn't have been able to take this. You know, but go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, I was just gonna say that Villanova, you can consider Villanova a blue blood.
You think so?
Oh yeah, Jay Wright, Coach Wright, Coach Self, Patino, and Calipari. They're the only four coaches out there active that have multiple championships. And Jay Wright has two, but Villanova, they are new school blue blood, because look at it last year. Kansas didn't make the champion, or Kentucky didn't make the tournament, nor did Duke make the tournament, nor did North Carolina make the tournament for that matter. Neither one of those two schools made it.
I'm googling what is considered blue blood in basketball.
Mm. Well, back to last night's game. I mean, the kid that won the most outstanding player award, I'm not going to even try to pronounce his name. I do know he's from, I think he said he was from Kansas City. He locked up Caleb Love on that last possession. I mean, he's
Is it
long.
Ochai Agbaji?
Ochai Agba, yeah. So he was the most outstanding player, and rightly so. I mean, what he did to what he did to Caleb Love, really all game. Really, it was all game. And then can we just give a shout out to Remy Martin? And I ain't talking about the drink. I'm talking about talking about the guard from Kansas.
Yeah.
That dude was a transfer, I believe, from the University of Arizona, and was one of the leading 3-point shooters in that school's history. Now, in the first half, he looked like straight boo-boo. But in the second half, he was probably one of the major differences in that game by what he did in the second half. I mean, he hit timely 3-pointers. He reminds me a lot of myself when I play point guard, a smaller point guard that can handle the ball and can actually dish off really, really well. He looks like he looked as though he had a firm command of the team while he was out there. He can actually shoot a little bit better than I could, but I never really shot the ball, so that really can't be said. But that kid reminds me a lot of me, and he was the spark plug in that second half, particularly.
Yeah, Remy Martin. I can't remember which game it was in the tournament, but man, he was lighting some team on fire. I can't remember because I'm like, who is that kid? And it was Remy Martin. A couple of games going into, I can't remember what team it was. I don't know if it might have been the field of 32. Still, they was in the field of 32. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, Remy Martin. He got some talent there. So Reddit gives us six blue bloods, that six schools that can be considered blue bloods. You ready to hear them?
Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, Kansas. I want to say UCLA, and UCLA is not one of them.
I'm looking at you because I'm impressed.
Oh,
One
yeah,
more.
UCLA, and
One more. Can you get the last one?
I
You
want to
probably
say
ain't gonna get this one, but
I
try
want to
anyway. It's a
I
Big
want
Ten school.
I want to say the last one is going to be Indiana.
Oh my God. I cannot believe you.
But
Ding ding
let's
ding.
But
Tell him what he's won. A new car. Yay!
I sure could use a new car right now. But I mean, but
You
let's
got
look at
it
that.
right, Willie.
Let's
I'm
look at
I'm
that.
impressed.
Let's look at that though. I mean, because really, are they really all blue blood? I mean, UCLA hadn't won a title since when?
It's been a long time.
It's been a while. Indiana hadn't even been really relevant. Did they even make the tournament this year? No, they did not. I don't think. Um, shoot, Duke, of course. You got to give Duke and North Carolina and Kansas all the love, but man, and Kentucky hadn't won a championship in a while either.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, when they had Anthony Davis,
But
so it's
but
been a minute.
yeah, so that's been at least because he was a freshman when they won it. So that's been at least 11 years.
Yeah, was it 2010
Something like that. Yeah.
or 2012?
But think about when the time when Duke went back to back national championship games against Butler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And my thing too is this is that Kansas, that's their first championship since 2008.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people
Yeah.
said that if 2020 wouldn't have been canceled by COVID, they would have been the number one overall seed. And I don't really. They're putting Bill Self in that upper echelon of coaches in that category, but I don't necessarily know if I agree with that because Bill Self has had a lot of teams that were a number one seed or a number two seed and got upset in the round of 32 and didn't even make it to the Elite Eight or the Sweet 16.
Mm.
That's just my thought.
Yeah, that's just a Reddit though. I'm trying to look for some experts and see what their opinions are. They say that there are some fringe programs. Oh, we gotta take a break. Oh my God, I'll come back with the fringe programs in just a second. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Who has the hottest app in the city? WOVU 95.9 FM. Siri, tell them why WOVU 95.9 FM got the hottest app right now. WOVU streams at 192 kilobits per second, giving the best sound in the city. WOVU has a new sound coming out our app right now. The only one in the city at 192 kilobytes per second. Listen, man, it is going down. That's what you're telling me, Siri?
That's right, DJ Chris Styles. You already know what it is.
Listen, check out our new sound right now. Go to your mobile store app, download WOVU 95.9 FM and check us out right now. Tell everybody, listen, we coming at you. This is the Burton Bell Car Community Radio Station. You already know what it is. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. Remember, you can always keep it locked on your dial at 95.9 FM. You can always listen to us online at WOVU.org. And you can always give us a call to join the conversation at 216-271-0959. And also make sure you download that WOVU app so you can take us with you on the go. Now, me and Willie, before we went to break, we were talking about basketball blue bloods. So I said I'm going to find the actual blue bloods, and Willie got all of them correct, and I'm just really impressed. Willie, I know you know a lot, but I'm just really impressed that you got that Indiana because I was like, I don't think you gonna get it, but you end up getting it anyway. So I should never doubt you, right?
That's right.
And then so the teams that they people feel like are on the fringe of being a blue blood is you want to take a shot at those?
How many are there?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll say Villanova. No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'll say Arizona. No. Please don't tell me Gonzaga's on that list.
No.
Okay, then I'm done. No, wait a minute. Wait. Louisville.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Louisville's got to be on there.
Correct.
I would even venture to say Michigan.
Michigan State.
Michigan
Not Michigan.
State. Yeah, Michigan State. Okay. UConn.
Yes, correct.
UConn's one. Um. mm, 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 mm.
Another ACC school.
Mm,
Or is it in the Big East now? I think it's ACC.
Big East. Uh, Georgetown.
No. One more
George.
shot.
Yeah, one more shot. You said Big East or
Either or ACC. I don't think they moved. I think they're in the ACC.
ACC. Syracuse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
How can I forget
Correct,
Syracuse?
Mundo.
Okay.
Yeah, so Louisville, UConn, Michigan State, and Syracuse. But they said that some of those schools are debatable at this point. But I could see, Georgetown being a great guess, and possibly Michigan being a great guess. But I look at it like, these schools that have actually won, and what have they won, and how often have they won, whether or not that they should be considered a blue blood. But it's getting harder and harder to win the national championship. So that's one thing that we can give credit to these other schools that are building these programs that can contend. And one of the things that I mentioned about why there are so many upsets is that that one and done rule, how these college players are just rental players for a year and then they leave their program and it takes a while to rebuild, where a lot of times these schools are playing against teams who have had players who played together 3-4 years and they've actually learned how to play the sport of basketball, and they can go up against these blue bloods and these talents and these 1 year rentals and these short systems. So Baylor last year, Gonzaga number one overall seed, and unfortunately they went down. But I would have loved to possibly see how these teams would have matched up against Gonzaga if they had got there. But Baylor showed it's hard to win this national tournament. So, hats off to all the teams. And, I hate the Blue Bloods. I don't root for them, but it was a great game nonetheless. And, I was watching every second of it. I guess I was rooting for Kansas a little bit more than North Carolina, possibly. I think I have some personal reasons for not rooting for North Carolina. But I didn't really care who won, and it was a great game. And if you are a basketball, fanatic, you really enjoyed last night, and you saw some of those players are going to have some bright futures. Because Baycott is going to have a bright future in the NBA. So excited for him and everything that is going to happen for him in the future. And I hope that he's okay, because he fell with just a couple minutes left and it looks like he was injured. So hopefully, it's nothing too serious, because he injured his ankle Saturday night against Duke. So hopefully he'll be okay. But let's move to the NBA.
Rachel, one more thing though about that
Yes,
college
sir.
basketball thing.
Yes, sir.
I think that it may be a little bit more here to stay in terms of it not being one and done than we're probably ready to admit, because of the NIL. Now these kids can still be in school and make money. I mean, make big money, take care of their families, take care of themselves, continue to go to school and try to win a championship with those guys that they came in with. So when I heard that from, I think it was Seth Greenberg had said that earlier today. I actually have not been that great of a college basketball fan because of the one and done. But if they implement, or since this NIL has been implemented, and if it encourages more players to stay at least for 2 years, then I can see myself becoming an avid fan again, like I once was. But that whole one and done thing, or even the jump straight from high school to the pros, during that whole period, that the game of college basketball lost me for a lot of years. I mean, for a lot of years. But if this is able to bring some of that traditional type, old school stuff type back, then yeah, we'll have a lot more college basketball to talk about next season.
Yeah, one of the things I was telling our listeners, got a chance to, be in a group interview session with Dave and Stern. And one of the things I wanted to ask them was, that were they considering striking down that one and done thing and possibly making the players go back to possibly 2 years, maybe even 3 years, just like football players. And I never got a chance to ask them, and I wish I did. But, at that time, I was really curious about that because you see the impact it has on basketball programs and one person, this, all world, student scholar, you get there, they're there, they have this excellent season, then they leave, and you got to rebuild your program again, around that departure. So, it really sucks for schools like Ohio State, which is trying to, it's always something personal for me, where they're trying to build that basketball. Where they're trying to build that basketball program as good as their football program, and they're not really able to do it because players really don't stay long at all, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think about the schools that are impacted by that, where they are able to get these talents, but they leave after the season is over. So they work so hard to recruit them and stuff, and then they play their season and they're excellent, but then they bounce, and then you left picking up pieces. So I think about that all the time. I am glad that EJ Manuel has stayed and he's proven to be a great player. So I hope he gets drafted, and if he doesn't get drafted, at least be able to be on one of the the in the D League and develop that way, because I think he could be a great player in the league for Ohio State, or if not, hopefully a lucrative career overseas. But I could see him being a draftable player and being developed in the G League and possibly playing in the NBA. So he's kind of all worldly for Ohio State. And I don't know if you heard about the death threats he got last year when they
Mm-hmm.
lost to Oral Roberts and stuff like that. And hopefully there's no death threats, after they lost to Villanova. Villanova just, unfortunately outplayed them. And, Chris Holtman, that's a whole nother situation there. So he might not be there that much longer. So we're going to see what happens with him. But yeah, Ohio State used to be really good at basketball in the early 1960s, but they decided that they wanted to. Yeah, that's true. They decided that they wanted to focus on football more than basketball because obviously that football brings in the money. So that's why they laid up all their basketball program. But I'm like, why not be good at both? You certainly could.
And let's look at a couple of schools that are actually good at both. If we have a couple minutes, because I always like these off the cuff conversations because it gets you to thinking. The number one school that comes to mind that's really good at both is the University of Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
University of Michigan.
I'll give
Uh,
them that.
yeah, and if you want to throw baseball in there too, baseball as well. And another one more thing too, Rich, I wanted to add real fast is that you were talking about EJ and him, going possibly to the pros or what have you. Remember, he can declare for the draft,
Yeah.
but not sign an agent. And I think that bodes well for a lot of these players that are on the fringe of being, completely ready as opposed to being a little bit ready and shifting that whole mantra about them being a project into a polished player that's ready to play now. So we'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah, because they recently, I forgot the player, but he recently just declared himself for the draft. So he's going to test out the waters and see what happened to him. I believe it was that freshman. I can't remember uh, what his name was, but I think he was like Malaki Branham.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what's going to happen? He was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, so he possibly could be going. So I believe I think not hiring that agent is a good thing, but testing the waters and seeing, and if there's something that doesn't work out for him, he can always come back and work on his game some more and be ready possibly after his sophomore year. He had a phenomenal freshman year, freshman of the year in the conference. So that's always a great thing. So you got to build up that basketball program organically and have him and EJ Liddell pair together, for another run. You never know what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, we're gonna take a break, Willie. But George wants us to remember too that the mid majors can play in basketball, as Kent State, Akron, and Cleveland State, who were Kent State did make it to Was it Kent State or was it
Yeah,
Akron
it
that
was
made it
Kent
to?
State. They made it to the Sweet 16 that one year.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think yeah, Akron made it to the tournament, and Cleveland State was there last year. So shout out to the mid majors as well, the MAC conference. So we'll take a quick break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
The St. Luke's Foundation has awarded millions of dollars each year to positive, impactful organizations that serve you and your community. And now it's time to put the money where your mouth is. So we're introducing Live Every Voice, a platform created to hear directly from you. We want to know what's important to you and what's important for your community, so St. Luke's Foundation can put all these millions in all the right places. And sharing your voice is easy to do. Go to lev216.org and sign up for the Lift Every Voice email and text updates. It's completely anonymous and totally free. And your voice will impact where, why, and how St. Luke's Foundation spreads that monetary love. Head over to lev216.org and sign up now to help lift every voice in our community. This message is brought to you by St. Luke's Foundation and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right. Well, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I'm here with Willie Epteen Jr. And remember, always keep it locked right here on 95.9 FM. You can also listen to us live online at WOVU.org. You can always give us a call and join the conversation at 216-271-0959. And don't forget to download that WOVU app so you can listen to us on the go and take your favorite personalities like myself with you and listen to it. So we always appreciate your support. Always appreciate you listening. Now, Willie, we discussed some basketball, which has been great. We're going to be moving into the playoffs pretty soon, and I'm pretty excited about that. So last night, JB Bickerstaff found out what his fine was going to be for talking about the officials after the Philly versus Cavs game, and he has been fined $15,000. I wonder how they come up with it, because I thought like the standard fine was 25.
I don't know, and I gotta look. The NBA is the most progressive league in North America, but some of these fines and the reasons for fines, they really infringe on the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, I ain't trying to go political about it. However, inasmuch, therefore, in consequence of, or whatever you want to insert in there for your conjunction, it does infringe on the First Amendment right. So now we can't criticize the officials, although coaches and players get criticized all the time. I don't agree
maybe
with
it's
that.
something written in that collective bargaining agreement that they kind of waive that right, when it comes to the criticizing of officials. There's got to be something. So
I ain't buying it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it sucks. They should be able to say whatever they want to say, about the officials or
within
what
reason.
have you.
Within reason. Reason.
Absolutely within reason, but doesn't look like it's going down on the NBA's watch. So you are absolutely right about that, infringing upon the First Amendment, and being subject to fines. But there's got to be something written in which they agree to that they can be fined for speaking out negatively. So something in that CBA or something.
Well, the CBA, if I'm not mistaken, Rachel, is for the players, not for the coaches.
Will they be holding to somebody? I might not have the entity right, but they be holding to somebody in which they have to lose money from their game check. So whoever that entity is, is taxing their cash.
Yep, that's what that is.
Yeah, I don't know which entity it is, but but there was a few different reasons why the Cavs lost the games. It wasn't about officiating. And I think one of the things is JB Bickerstaff is trying to scapegoat poor play at the end of the game and turnovers and things like that. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday. By this team being so young, you're gonna see these mistakes because they haven't been there before. The Cleveland Cavaliers have went from the hunter to the hunted, and you're getting team's best shot. You're getting Philly's best shot, where at the beginning of the season, before the season, they might not have taken you serious, but you proved to be a real deal NBA team in playoff contention. So, teams are taking you seriously and playing you tough. So, you're going to make these mistakes because you haven't been there before. Yeah, you got Kevin Love, but he's a start. He's not a starter. And Rajon Rondo, they bench players, and they can try to coach their fellow players the best they can, but they've never been here before, so they're going to be mistake prone. But the thing is, you want them to learn from making these mistakes. But I'm like, you can't really blame the refs because there was numerous things, having pretty much an out of bounds ball stolen, and that's you can't blame the officials on that. That was poor play by Kevin Love. So yeah, he had a little fine that he had to pay today. And so the Cavs take on Orlando tonight at 7 p.m. It is a must win because if they lose, they definitely will be in the playoff. If they lose and Toronto wins, they will definitely be in the play-in game. And they don't want that. They don't want to be in the play-in game. And
they would draw Brooklyn, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they would draw Brooklyn. But the good thing about that is those games will be in Cleveland.
It's only one game, though, ain't it?
Well, yeah, it'll be one. That game will be in Cleveland, and then if the Nets win, and so if the Nets win, then of course they will either play at Atlanta or at Charlotte. But if the Cavs win, which I think the Cavs will win, one game at home in an atmosphere like that, man, all they gotta do is they can let Kyrie Irving and they can let Kevin Durant get 50 apiece, and then just lock down everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even like possibly letting them get 50.
Well,
I ain't even feeling that.
But that's what it's gonna take for the Nets, even if they get past this round, even if they get past the first round, because if they get past the first round or this play-in thingy, whatever you want to call it, then they're gonna face off against Boston. Or no. They will actually get Miami in the first round. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, as great as they are, they ain't beating Miami. Not just them two. No.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a playoff picture right now.
I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. What do you want to know?
Nothing. I got it pulled up now. Oh, Atlanta and AC. Okay. I didn't realize Atlanta was an AC.
I mean, and those teams are in a virtual dead heat. I mean, I think Brooklyn is safe to say that they are locked into the 10th seed. I think they're not necessarily, because Atlanta is one game above them and Brooklyn and Charlotte are tied. But I think all of the tiebreakers go against Brooklyn. So, wow. And there's no way that Toronto is going to be caught by the Cavaliers. They're two and a half back with 4 left to go.
And we got a couple tough games. We got Milwaukee coming up, and who do we have?
You said Orlando today?
Yeah, Orlando today. Milwaukee on Sunday. I can't remember who we play. I think we play Brooklyn at Brooklyn. And then I can't remember the other game.
Yeah. Cleveland at Brooklyn at the Barclays Center on that is going to be on the, what day is that? Oh, April the 8th. So that's Friday. That's this Friday. They have the Magic tonight They have the Nets on Friday. And then after that, they will have
Milwaukee.
the Milwaukee Bucks. That is in Cleveland. And then the last game of the year is against who? The Bulls?
No, that's it.
Oh, that is it. That's right. That is
Mm-hmm.
it.
So
So,
four games left.
man, that's gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be tough. Hopefully for them, they can get two of them.
Yeah, they definitely should be able to get tonight. If they don't get tonight, that's bad because Orlando is like one of the worst teams in the NBA, last in the Eastern Conference, so they should be able to get tonight. Um, I don't know about Brooklyn, and yeah, we might be able to get Milwaukee possibly. They have to bring it though.
The thing is though that there's still a fierce battle for that top spot in the East. So it's not like anybody's gonna be sitting anybody down, unlike in the West where the Suns are 7 games up on the Grizz and they could sit down anybody that they want to should they choose to do that. But yeah, they're not going to just lay it down because of everything that's still at stake.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what's up before we move on? Because man, we only got 15 minutes left. Time has passed fast. What's up with your Lakers, man?
So did you hear about what happened in I don't want to talk about them.
Why not?
What you want me to say? What you want me to say that hadn't already been said? It's been a disaster all year. LeBron James is going to finish the year as the leading scorer in the NBA. It's a wasted season. But did you hear what Magic Johnson said?
No, what did Magic say?
Oh my gosh. Magic Johnson said that he got a call from the agent from DeMar DeRozan and told him DeMar wanted to come home. So he got on the call with the Lakers. He called Rob Pelinka and said DeMar wants to be a Laker. He wants to be a Laker. Now, all things were looking towards him possibly or really becoming a Laker, and Buddy Hield from Sacramento going to Los Angeles. That trade, both of those trades were almost completely done until they went to LeBron James, and LeBron James said that he and Westbrook had been talking along with Carmelo, and then that's how Russell ended up in Los Angeles instead of DeMar DeRozan and Buddy Hield. But then he took it further by even saying that if if DeMar DeRozan was with the Lakers now, the Lakers would be playing for the Western Conference Championship. So he put that on LeBron and he put that on Russell Westbrook, which, hey, if the shoe fits, wear it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think will happen when they let LeBron play GM?
Man, I don't know, but
It happened in Cleveland, so I mean, these are things that come with LeBron. So welcome to what Cleveland has lived with.
right. I mean, but
Sorry, man.
it's a waste of his own. It was a waste of what could be considered his best season ever at the age of 37.
He'll be back next year.
I don't know.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He
ain't that
might be
hurt.
back, but is he going to be better? The Lakers are in trouble. The Lakers should try to either move LeBron James or Anthony Davis because they not moving Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has an opt-in for 47 million. He ain't opting out because he ain't gonna get that. No, he's not gonna get that anywhere else. So the Lakers are straddled with him and that $47 million contract for next year. I will try to get rid of Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has missed 85 games in the last 5 years.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Nate, just from the comments, Nate said he's a BYU fan. Forget the Blue Bloods. George says that JB Bickerstaff was right because the NBA posted in a 2-minute report that foul should have been called, so he was proven right. And he said, "How do you reconstruct the Lakers into contention?" We'll take LeBron back. They can trade him back here. We'll take him back.
I would, if I was a Cavs fan, I wouldn't want LeBron back with me.
Bring him back. We love him. Bring him back. Bring LeBron back. We love him. We'll
It'd
take
be like
it back.
it'd be like the 07 squad.
We'll take. Oh God, no, it wouldn't.
Yes,
No, it
it
wouldn't.
would, because they're gonna have to trade everybody to get that dude back. They're gonna have to trade Sexton. They're gonna have to trade Garland. They're gonna have to trade Jared. They're gonna have to trade everybody to get
No.
that dude back in Cleveland. And then it'll be LeBron and Eric Snow and
Let it snow. I used to play that on the radio here.
and Booby. Grown man named Booby.
Let me take this last break right quick. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
And you can get yours. Enterprise Community Partners presents free tax filing from IRS certified professionals. There's locations all around Cuyahoga County, and you can receive up to $6,600 from the Earned Income Tax Credit if eligible. They'll even be able to help you open a checking account to safely deposit your tax refund into if you don't already have a checking account. There's no fees, filing is free, there's no catch at all. Schedule your tax appointment at refundohio.com. This message is brought to you by Third Federal, Huntington Bank, Dollar Bank, U.S. Bank, Ohio Savings Bank, Cuyahoga County Family Services, Bank of America, Cleveland Neighborhood Progress, IRS, Citizens Bank, Fifth Third Bank, PNC, Key Bank, and WOVU, a Burton Belcar community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with Willie Epteen Jr., and we're just talking about some basketball, talking about what can be done to help the Lakers win, and Willie said trade LeBron, and, like I said, we will gladly take him back because we love him here. He can leave us as many times as he wants to, and we will take him back because we love him.
You know what? LeBron treats y'all like that wife that will I remember that episode of Martin when Gina had a dream and Martin had women coming out of the closet. He had women coming from the back room. He could do anything. And Gina was like, okay, that's how LeBron do Cleveland fans, I believe. If you were to do that, that's exactly what that would remind me of.
And we don't care. Okay. Okay, that's fine. LeBron, whatever you want to do, as long as you just come back to us. That's all we care about. As long as you come back to us. And we make it, we make it to some world championship games, stuff that we ain't seen, in our lifetimes. We'll take it. We already got one title. I think a lot of people was healed after getting that title. And when he left the second time, it wasn't as bad.
Yeah. I mean, because it was expected. But I remember nobody expected him after Miami. There was nobody but the one you talking to that said he's going back to Cleveland. He's going back to Cleveland.
Damien says LeBron curses every team he goes to. Just look at Miami and look what he did to the Cavs. Why would y'all want him back? Because we love him.
Damien tripping. They won back-to-back championships in Miami and went to 4 straight NBA finals. What are you talking about?
And now they could be going to some NBA finals again. So I guess Eric Spoelstra kind of can coach, huh?
Yeah, and they just went to the finals 2 years ago.
Because I said it was Pat Riley who was doing everything.
He said, George says, appoint Billy Bean as GM. Oh, Lord.
Hey, man, guess what?
What's that?
Baseball starts very soon. 2 days, opening day.
Yeah.
Woo!
Got a whole preview show coming out. I need you on it.
Okay. But how excited are you?
I didn't hear you. Say it again.
I said, how excited are you for baseball?
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm going to opening day at Globe Life Park or Globe Life Field or whatever it's called. I'm going out there on Monday, the home opener. In
Arlington?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all don't do a home opener like the Cleveland Guardians do a home opener. Excuse me. Almost I got it halfway out. Y'all don't do a home opener like we do a home opener.
Well, I've never been out there for a home opener, so primarily because that's not my team. But the bench coach, the hitting coordinator, Donnie Ecker, he's a close, like Stephen A would say, he's a close personal friend of mine. But nah, he's been on the show once, and we texted each other. As a matter of fact, we were texting each other when the Rangers hung 25 on the Guardians out in Surprise a few weeks ago. But then my boy Jose Trevino,
Anyway,
then my homeboy Jose Trevino got traded from the Rangers to the Yankees, so he's now in New York City. So I won't get a chance to see him. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to see Coach Ecker, and that'll be that. So I'm excited.
anyway, that was just a bad game that we had. It happens sometimes. It happens.
Mm-hmm. He said I could bring. He said I could get a bat and come out there and take me some hacks. I text him. I said, man. I said, did y'all really put 25 across the board? He said, yeah. I said, let me get a bat and come out there and take some hacks. He said, come on, anytime.
Man,
So
you gotta
anytime
come.
they play in Cleveland, guess where I'm gonna be at? I'm gonna be in the dugout.
Man, look, for us, yeah, a lot of people are not very happy about this upcoming season. The Indians are predicted to finish in last place.
Guardians.
Oh, thank you. Cleveland Guardians are predicted to finish in the last place because they haven't made any off-season moves. But their pitching staff is deemed to be pretty stellar. But how are you going to be able to win games when you have no run support?
Well, I don't know about that last place finish prediction because Kansas City is still in that division, although they do have a couple of players that are really, really good in Benintendi, as well as Merrifield. He's still with them as well.
Yeah.
And Detroit did get an upgrade. Of course, they have who did they get? They got Carlos Correa. No, he went to the Twins. They got Javier Baez in Detroit, and they still have Miggy, of course, up there. I don't know about the Guardians finishing last place because of their pitching, but you remember, Cleveland fans, I tried to keep y'all on the ledge for about 2/3 of the year last year, and I kept telling y'all this team is going to be okay. This team is going to be okay. This team is going to be okay until they weren't, but it wasn't because of their lack of energy or athletic or lack of effort. The injuries just took over, and you can't recover from that. So I wouldn't put him in last place. I will give him probably third behind Chicago, and who else is in that division? Maybe Detroit,
the Twins.
Maybe the Twins. Yeah, the Twins got Carlos Correa, but outside of that, I mean, they traded away their best pitcher at the deadline last year. We'll see.
Yeah, they've been having the Cleveland Guardians number though the past few years. So that division, you got the White Sox too. So White Sox playoff team. Didn't go well against Houston, but you got them too in that division. So who knows? But I don't see them finishing well because they just make no moves. Right now they're going through the contract purgatory with Jose Ramirez, and he wants to be paid, and they don't want to pay him. So you got that, and he has been one of the most prolific batters that we've had. So there's issues going around, and they're not doing anything to help. But I'm excited. Baseball is starting. It's just weird the timing of everything because usually you start in March, and it's just weird. Like I completely forgot that the season starts in like 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it is here. And it's about to take place. So also Major League Baseball, really quickly before we end, they're allowing pitchers and catchers to use anti-sign stealing technology. What are your thoughts about that?
Okay, what's the big news? I mean, they've been doing it. They always look what the Astros did, man. They figure out a way. So by Major League Baseball saying, okay, they're just basically saying it's cool as long as you don't use cameras and cell phones and drones and all that other stuff. I mean, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but you don't want teams to do it. So, but I give credit to Major League Baseball for implementing more technology into the game. You know, I don't know how much it's helped, but I give them credit for at least trying to do something because it's still ranked, dead last in sports. So anytime baseball tries to do something different, I try to give them a little credit for it because, at the end of the day, that sport is plagued with cheating and they're trying to, and that might be something, one of the reasons why people might not want to watch it or be associated with it because the cheating and the fairness of that. So, anytime Major League Baseball is trying to strive to do something better, I kind of cheer them on a little bit.
I think that baseball is making improvements. I've seen the commercial with Shoei on there for the show. I think that's good. They need to do they need to continue to improve the marketing of their superstars. Nobody knows who these guys are. And that's a big deal in my opinion. And I think the rule changes that they have put in effect for this season, I think they're going to have an impact, particularly the universal DH, and anything that can be done to help to speed the game up. I'm always in favor for.
Yeah. Well, Willie, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's always been a pleasure. We always have a good time talking some sports. So I thank you all the time, always for joining me. And, for Rachel Hill and Willie Epting Jr., this is Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. Thank you for listening and thank you for all of your support. And we are out of here.
Stay tuned for a special program from WOVU 95.9 FM. And thank you for
Sorry about the beginning.
Oh, it's all good.
Um,
I'll text you. I'm trying to get Mike and Natalie on for possibly Thursday.
Okay.
For a baseball preview, a whole
Oh.
show, a whole preview show.
How long is the show?
It's an hour. It's just an hour.
Okay, I got to pack again to go out of town, but this time it's not too. But it's only the weekend, and we doing our Delta anniversary, so it ain't like I'm wearing all these outfits and stuff.
Okay.
So
All right.
that.
Okay. Just let me know.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. That should be good to go.
All right.
Just holler at me.
All right. Peace.
Okay. All right. Bye.